Hey, yo.
Back hero.
Yo, check it. This my special attack, 100 swords, 100 episodes, and here's to 100 more. Who got next? Place your change on the cabinet. Air Combo University graduates juggle my enemies before tagging in the Masters hero. Pros in action, toe tagging champions getting active. The message will always get near you. Return to the dream team, Spider-Man and Strider hear you. When the mask is on, I can't promise Cyclops to keep his glasses on. The handshake was potent. The inner glow shown as a mega optic blast, trailing behind the Shinku Hadouken. How you gon' dodge both of them? Blast you down to the last atom. Best regards from the proton cannon you couldn't fathom. If you were raised on gaming and put a controller up, I'm old enough to study the meta before I bless you. We understood space in the dash clean. Now we need the Justin Wong poster right next to the pro athletes. Final justice like a primary lotus from out the sky. Stars and stripes reminding you racism is still alive. Bring a plasma sword to a gunfight. Hayato, bring a hurricane kick. Tatsumaki Senpaku. One time for all my otakus who played the console till their eyes closing. Probably forgot to study for their finals. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash.
Don't be getting out the car either. I've been watching too much anime my whole life, so I always add that like old man noises. That's going on a podcast, bro. I just press record. Yeah. Yeah, we're washed now, dog. Nope. Ha! It's not. It's just me. Let's see if I can fix this on the fly. Right now, it's just me. It's just the hero show. Liberty Bibberty. Oh, yeah, I can fix it. How about this? We go to open. Then we go to podcast.
Oh, hey, I am part of the show. Yay! We were making old man noises.
Dog, his were way funnier than mine too. So you guys missed out.
You know, for no reason. Oh, people just be clearing their throats for no reason at all.
It'd be so. It's so like loud and inappropriate.
Standing in line at Secretary of State. It's just be. Like, sir, can I help you? Oh, no, I'm good. I'm just. Number 47.
Funny. Oh man. Right. That was actually like an actual cough.
Jeez.
That feels appropriate.
Oh my goodness, man. You know, I know I'm washed. I hate like all noise.
Mm-hmm.
Any loud noise just like irritates the crap out of me, you know.
Dog, sometimes Cloud will bark out of nowhere and it just immediately pisses me off. Like, Cloud, relax, bud.
Bro, so perfect example. I was on my way here. Some dude in a sports car, and he was like he's like a couple cars ahead of me to in the lane to the left, and bruh, my guy. This dude, like, it was so loud, and I just got so mad. Like, I was like, oh, you're so cool!
All right. Fine. Fuck. $10 fine, bro.
I was legitimately, like, so upset, and it just bothered me.
Oh, look at you with your fucking cool car. You're so cool. Hopefully you got gas money because you just burned half
Can you make it any louder? Does it get louder than that? Or
hey, bud, can you make it any... Hey, you remember that nigga Raph in the first Turtle movie?
Bro.
That nigga Raph was getting mad at Mikey because he kept chewing in his
Hilarious.
ear. You think you could chew that any louder? Nigga Raph said... Mikey right in his ear. That shit was hilarious.
Dog. Good old Ninja Turtles.
You think you can chew any louder?
Can you chew that any louder?
Raph is definitely he always has they gave him the thick accent in that movie.
New Yorkers, is Raph's accent, is it Brooklyn, is it Harlem, is it Queens? What's his accent?
What is it?
They all sound the same
is
to
it
me.
not even a new
Yeah. Shout out
They
to
all
New York.
sound
I
the
love
same.
New York. I couldn't live there, but
Oh,
so I
why
shouldn't have
not?
said that because all of the New Yorkers, well, you got to be a certain type of nigga to live in New York. You know what? You're right. And it's not me. I'm not afraid to admit that.
And it's not me, and that's okay.
I'm not trying to go to a pizza spot and get cussed out by the guy because I took slightly too long to order my pizza.
No.
What are you doing?
Hey, come on! What's
going on with
trying to
your
run a business here?
with
Come
your
on!
shirt and your pants and your socks over
Hey,
there?
what's going on? Hey, come on, huh? You holding up the line here.
Come on, huh? You got your peanut butter and your peanut butter and your jelly over there, huh?
Hey, get a load of this guy. He's taking up all the time. He thinks he runs the joint.
Is that what happens in New York? I've
so.
been to New York several times, and I've actually had a lot of hilarious experiences.
Same. I've been probably 3, 4, 5 times, something like that. Only 3 times as an adult, and it's been cool. It's just too fucking crowded, dog. Like,
There's too many people there for
I
me.
just can't deal with that. Like,
It's like it's just too.
it
many
was
people.
cool. Like, it's a great place to visit for a vacation, but to reside there, you didn't like the vacation?
Well, I've only been there to do shows and stuff, but it's just too many. Like I said, it's just too many people.
So I've been twice to do shows, and I've been, I guess 4 times. So twice to do shows, and then twice as just an adult, like on a vacation, and it was cool.
Why would you go to a place with a zillion people for a vacation?
I don't know, man. I went to Times Square and I hung out with Spider-Man or whatever.
That's cool. Was it the one with the Timbs?
No, I was looking for him. I didn't see him.
Ah,
Yeah, it was.
he hung out with real Spider-Man. What a loser.
I didn't see the Spider-Man with the Timbs. He's hilarious though.
I kid. Let's start the podcast.
That's pod.
Boom. Let's go, man. Episode 175. Last week was dope, man. It was the Akira Toriyama episode. Talked a lot of Dragon Ball, man. What are you into currently, my friend?
So I am into a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about later.
Boom. Shakalaka.
But I will talk briefly about video games I've been playing. Man, listen. Final Fantasy Rebirth. I put 110 hours into this game.
Goodness.
Played the shit out of it. It was
What's
fun.
it about?
Learning curve was steep, but I finally got it. Finished the game, credits rolled, and I sat back in my chair and I said, does anybody know what the fuck this game's about? Like, does anybody know what the fuck is, like, even the plot? Like, I don't understand any of what's happening.
Hey, the plot was the journey, finishing the game.
Well, I got questions. So I'm being a little facetious. I think I know what's going on. And I was partially right. I had a theory that Final Fantasy, this new trilogy, is Final Fantasy VII Remake Trilogy, is not a remake. Instead, it's a sequel to the original Final Fantasy. And I think I'm like kind of right, maybe. So let me ask you this: do you plan? Are you like into the Final Fantasy series at all?
I am a casual fan of Final Fantasy. I like it, and I've played multiple I've played a few of the games, but it's not like I probably won't play this.
Okay. So I'm going to give a mild spoiler. It's a very mild spoiler, which is it was a spoiler that, like, if you paid enough attention, you could have drew an inference that was going to happen in the first game. But it's not the only thing, but I will just say that what they've introduced is a Final Fantasy VII multiverse.
How do you feel about that?
Okay, great question. I love multiversal concepts, but unfortunately, I think that, like,
I like
pop culture has a multiverse boner right now.
Yeah, and I
think too many of them are not being done well.
I like multiversal concepts. I get annoyed when we start stepping into the realm of everything has to be intertwined with everything, and everything has to be connected to everything, and this show has to be connected to this show, which has to be connected to this movie, and everything's got to tie into one central purpose.
Well, I do like that. I prefer that.
Me sometimes.
Well, here's the thing. It annoys me because they often do it badly, right? Like, in my mind, this is the reason why I love the idea, the concept. I mean, I still fuck with the MCU. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, the MCU is like not chic anymore, so I'm gonna shit on it. Like, no, I like it. It was a cinematic triumph, and it deserves respect. But I love the concept of it, and I love the iteration of it that existed with, like, the X-Men cartoon and the Spider-Man cartoon, because that's how comics are. They're all intertwined.
Right.
And to me, I love when stories, like, are connected in that way, but they just have to be done well. And I think multiversal stories are hard to do, and too many people are trying, and too many people are not succeeding.
Not doing it well.
Like, I think Everywhere, Everything, All at Once is maybe the best multiversal movie that we've seen so far.
Yielded.
So it was unexpected. This Final Fantasy VII multiverse was unexpected. I didn't think they were going to go this direction. And I still don't quite understand why they've gone this direction, but I assume that it will all make sense in the third game because they've broken up the Final Fantasy VII story into a trilogy. So there's still a whole third act to go, and I don't know what the fuck the game's about. We'll see.
They're doing too much.
Yeah. So yeah, that game is but the game was fire though. Like, the combat is amazing, the graphics are great. Has some fun ass mini games. You know me. I'm a Yakuza fan now, so, like, if games has good mini games, I'm in.
Got a woodchop simulator in there.
Greatest mini game of all time to this day. The wood chopping simulator and the fucking cabaret club from Yakuza. So Shenmue 3 has the wood chopping simulator, and then the cabaret club is in Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami 2. And you play as a fucking cabaret club manager, and you got to get your girls together, bro. You make money. You got to buy them, like, jewelry and, like, the right outfits.
Oh gosh.
You got to, bro. Hey, listen.
Hilarious.
You niggas, y'all need to understand we do masculinity in a way that is unbothered by the rest of you hoe ass niggas. So when I say I spent some money on my girls and I got their hair done and they was looking right, and we made some money in the club. And our cabaret game was tight. We won the cabaret Grand Prix and beat all the rest of the clubs because my ladies was robbing. No, they wasn't robbing them, but they were, like, talking the right kind of. Because you've been to Japan. You know the concept of cabaret club. So, like, they gotta, like, talk you into buying shit.
Man, you gotta talk up your clients.
Man. My girls was mouthpiecing them niggas out their wallets, and we was making bread. And listen, bro, that shit was fun. That was one of the best mini game experiences that I've ever had. That shit was so fucking fun, dog.
Mouthpiece them out their wallets,
bro.
Very
Shout
funny.
out to the cabaret club. It makes me never want to go to a cabaret club in Japan. Whenever I finally go, like, I don't think I ever want to go.
Beware of being told what you want to hear.
All right, so yeah, that's what I've been into.
Boom. I've seen Dune 6 times now.
Hey. Well, actually,
Can't stop going to see. How do I not go see Dune 2?
Bro, I don't know.
I've seen this movie 6 times. I mean, we talked about it, we reviewed it, but it's just the best cinematic experience of my adult life.
Hey,
Man.
I have now that I'm just about done with the first Dune book, I have a kind of a scolding hot take.
Okay, let's hear it.
I think you're gonna agree with me. I don't think this is like. I think this is a hot take that's gonna piss the old heads off.
Okay.
I think the movie is better than the book, bro.
Oh, facts.
The book is boring, dog.
I don't think the book is. It's not boring to me, but I think it's so dense.
There are chunks of it that are boring as fuck.
And Frank Herbert, the way that his writing style is like super dense, man. And there's a lot of dialogue, and there's so much dialogue, and he kind of uses the dialogue to. You know what I mean?
Set the table.
To set everything up, and it's like a
great example.
Tedious.
A great example of what I mean by this is in the first movie where Jessica and Paul crash after they escape the Harkonnens or the Sardaukars.
Yeah.
And
you talk about the part with the tent?
I'm talking about like the entire part after they crash and Paul uses the voice. And they like escape.
Yeah.
From that point to like when they meet Stilgar and them, or when they meet Duncan Idaho.
Duncan again, yeah, they link up with Duncan.
That takes place in like 15 minutes in the movie. In the book, it's like 50 pages.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, what are we talking about here?
Yeah,
dog?
I feel you.
So the book is extremely well written, but there are stretches that are so goddamn boring. But the parts that are important are obviously great.
Mm-hmm.
Once it gets into once it starts to move the plot along, it's good.
Yeah, and like I said, you know, as someone who got into the books after becoming a fan of the first film, I said, man, before, the Dune has been like kind of a reverse of what you normally hear. When people read the book and then you want to see the movie, but just. You know, Dune is such dense literature, man, that you gotta, when you see the movie, it just helps you have a visual for everything and the characters and the world 100%. And all these things that are being described. Because, as I said, it's very dense, so some things aren't even really described to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I get it.
Yep.
I'll get it, but I've seen this movie 6 times. Love it. Amazing.
Hey. Well, actually,
had to do it 6 times.
I'm excited for you to finish, the books so we can talk about it. It's the real Dune talk.
Yeah, the full
But I also am still in my rewatch of Dragon Ball that I started when Toriyama passed, and right now I am in the Saiyan saga right now. I've made it to Dragon Ball Z, and I just want to say, man, Krillin was he was a dog in the Nappa fight. He was. He's just, there's no Krillin and Yamcha slander on this podcast. Krillin was never scared, always there to fight for his friends and hold the fort down till Goku gets there. So, but it's Dragon Ball Z. It's just so fun, and it's I love it. And we kind of said this last week, but it's weird because it's almost to the point now where it's actually underrated because many people. Try to look back on it and as we said,
too many think pieces about how
man, it's so weird, and it's okay to outgrow things, but that doesn't mean that we go back and say they were trash, because it's definitely not.
It's not trash. It never was.
It's never been trash. It's good.
We got to understand it's totally fine to outgrow some of the things you loved as a kid,
man.
But you'll always appreciate it. It'll always have a special place in your heart.
Right.
We talk a lot. We've been really anti shonen lately, but keep in mind, I think I can speak for you when I say that, I'm never gonna just stop completely watching shonen anime. Right. But I think I'm at a place now where I'm not as interested in it. When I get around to it, I'll get around to it.
Yeah.
As opposed to I can't wait to watch the next episode or whatever.
It's tough. But at the same time, the ones that I, grew up with, I'm always gonna revisit them, you know. I don't have a, but it's just some of the newer ones. It's hard for me to stay interested in them, you know. But yeah, Dragon Ball, always fun. Dragon Ball Z, always fun, classic. But yeah, that's what I've been into, man. I just been on my rewatch of Dragon Ball, and it has been excellent.
Love to see it.
But yeah, man, let's go. So we got we're gonna talk about there's, you know, a lot of shows out right now.
Man, this is a very TV heavy episode.
Very TV heavy episode, kind of getting caught up on some things. I want to talk about this anime, man. Ninja Kamui.
Hold on, wait, before you start, because I'm not caught up.
Okay.
You mentioned something that, because I know how you get when you get excited. You mentioned something that could be a potential spoiler about a change that they made to the world. Mm-hmm. Let's do what we can to talk around that for the viewers like me who haven't caught up yet.
I will not. I won't get into that.
Yes. But I think I'm on episode 3 or 4.
Okay, so yeah, so you still got a couple more episodes until they start introducing some of those new elements. But Ninja Kamui, man,
it's fire.
Fire. I was, you know, when it got announced, I was a little skeptical because they were kind of marketing it as the way that they were marketing it as an Adult Swim, you know, kind of exclusive. The exclusivity of the Adult Swim tag, it kind of made it seem like it was an American show, you know what I mean, or that it was a Western kind of, you know, one of those animated projects that's heavy anime influence, but it's a Western piece of work, you know.
This shit's an anime.
Nah, first episode, you know, we talked a little worried that it was gonna be about the old white man. Nah, it's not.
That was what I was the most worried about. I was like, bro, this nigga is blonde. It's like he's like from Holland, dog. He's like blonde hair, blonde beard, probably got wooden shoes.
Oh goodness. But nah, man. I'm all the way caught up. I just watched the 7th episode yesterday. I love it. I absolutely love this. I love this anime, man. It's really good. It's you know, going back to what we were just saying about you know, just the shonen burnout, right? I've been, obviously, I always talk about Vagabond, I always talk about Berserk, but even when it comes to series, you know, Samurai Champloo, Cowboy Bebop, we talked about how
those was grown folks.
Yeah, you know, talked about how I was kind of revisiting Afro Samurai, and like Afro Samurai so good, and you know, this kind of fits into those, you know, that lane for me. The animation is really good. The fight scenes are animated really well. It's dope, man. It's violent. It's reminds me of, you know, again, it reminds me of, you know, that Afro Samurai type of animation, and it's really good, man. It's dope. It's got a simple but engaging story. The story is good. You start learning more as the episodes go on. They start getting more into the backstory and unraveling more things about the character and just the world in general, and the world of the ninja, and kind of their code, and how he ends up becoming a rogue, and you know, why they came after him and his family. But man, I am absolutely loving the show. Higan, I think that's the main character's name. Yeah. I love how he just kind of wears it. He's just kind of a dude in a hoodie, but it's like he's a ridiculous ninja, man, you know. And then they've got these abilities, and they're really vague about everything until they start kind of, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of the dope thing about it, is they're really vague on the details of these, you know, these characters, until they start unraveling more details in some of the later episodes. But it's fire, man. I love it so much. It's really good.
Yeah.
You know, it's got a fire opening theme too. Yep. It's just dope. It's really good, and it's you know, going back to the shonen burnout, it's definitely something that I've wanted. This is the type of show that I've been waiting for, you know what I mean? Something along these lines. And it's been really dope so far, and I've been loving it. And like I said, I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's a change to the. I guess there's a new element that kind of gets introduced that you don't really see in the first couple of episodes that changes things, And so far for me, it's still dope. But I think these last few episodes are gonna really determine how much I like this.
How do you
show.
compare this? Because the other big show that came out earlier this year was Hell's Paradise.
Yeah.
How do you?
I like this better. I think Hell's Paradise is dope, and I didn't finish the manga, but I read of a lot of the Hell's Paradise manga. And Hell's Paradise is dope, but it's still. I think technically it's. I think it's technically a seinen manga. I don't know. I don't think it's a shonen.
It's not shonen.
But it still kind of has that. It just has a shonen vibe to me.
It does. It has a pantheon of baddies that you got to knock off one by one.
It does kind of have a show. This show Ninja Kamui feels very. It feels. It doesn't. It's just not that type of formula. You know what I mean? And it's more of a quick strike revenge story and. And I like it. I like a self-contained, like concise story like that. You know what I mean? And it's really dope, man. So I've been I like Ninja Kamui. I like this better than a lot of recent anime because this is, like I said, it's just as far as what I've been looking for. This is it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
facts.
It's fire.
Yep, I'm into it. I agreed. It's good.
It is really good. So man, if you guys haven't watched Ninja Kamui, definitely check it out. It has it reminds me a lot of Metal Gear Solid, man. Mm-hmm. It definitely has
the aesthetic is Metal Gear Solid-y.
It has a Metal Gear Solid vibe to it for sure, and that's kind of what I'm always thinking about when when I'm watching it, and I love MGS, so. That's another dope thing about it.
I'm surprised that we haven't got a proper Metal Gear Solid anime.
I don't even want to talk about that. That
shit would be so.
That's literally one of my biggest why nots in life. I really don't understand how there hasn't at least been like an anime film or something.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
I do not get it, bro. I don't understand it. It's you would think, you think
it would be easy.
You would think it would have been something they would have capitalized on. But was it you that said that Metal Gear doesn't really bang like that in Japan?
I think what I said was, I might have said that too, but I think what I said was Metal Gear was written. It's the story is told in a very Japanese way. It's super Japanese. But like all of the references and all of the points of reference, the references and like the point of reference for the story, and like it seems to me like the intended audience, even though it's a Japanese style of storytelling, is Americans,
right?
Because it's very like war and like
yeah.
And like the philosophy of war and
government
and not to say that they don't think about that in Japan, but it's like you rarely see animes that are written about that kind of thing.
No, I agree.
It seems like it was written for like the military, like gunhead, like tactical ass nigga to be wearing like
and then
cargo shorts with a bunch of fucking pockets.
And then there's some ninjas over here though.
Right. Don't forget, nigga, we got some ninjas. We got somebody. We got a vampire for some reason, and a nigga who may or may not be dead.
Got some cloning going on.
And some ghosts.
We got some cloning going on over here. Got some robots, some ninjas. All the characters have awesome names.
Bruh, the names.
Sniper Wolf.
Revolver Ocelot.
Revolver Ocelot is the coolest name ever.
It's so fire.
Ever.
Yeah. Solid Snake, Naked Snake, Venom Snake.
Bro. Liquid Snake.
Gray Fox,
man.
Vulcan Raven,
Bro.
Who am I missing? Nigga, there's a dude in Metal Gear Portable Ops, I think. This nigga's name is Hot Coldman, dog.
Bro, Hot Coldman.
I'm pretty let me make sure
Hot Coldman. That's
let me see it's in the right game.
Hot Coldman.
Yeah. He's also in Death Stranding, I think, as well.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Hot Coldman. He's I think he's the main bad guy in Metal Gear Peace Walker. That's what it is.
That's fire.
Nigga
Hot
name.
Coldman.
Hot Coldman, bro.
That sounds like a created player in a basketball game.
Facts. Or
Hot Coldman!
Or like a gimmicky comedy wrestler. It's Orange Cassidy and Hot Coldman.
Oh goodness. Hot Coldman. So funny. This a split personality wrestler.
That would low key be fire, dog.
Hot Coldman.
What if that was a gimmick that, like a persona that Orange Cassidy took on when he would like snap in between like
characters.
within the context of the match?
Yeah, that would be kind of fire. I'm not
You know they call him JR. They call him Hot Coldman.
Jeez,
Because
come out dressed like Totoro.
Yo, that would low key be fire, dog. That would be hard. Hey, somebody make the call to Orange Cassidy.
Hot Coldman. But yeah, bro, did you watch season 3 of Warrior?
Yes.
Man, I think it was man, my guy Sly. Shout out to Sly Dojo Hoops, man. That's my guy. We talk a lot.
Yeah.
Actually, that's my homie.
Yeah.
And just a chance meeting too, man. I remember I was doing a show in Brooklyn, I think, and that was when I first met him years ago, and we've always just stayed in touch and became good friends. And I think he was going nuts about Warrior in the Discord, and I was like, brother, we have talked about this show over the past like 2-3 years on this podcast, you know. And because it's on Netflix now. Warrior's fire, guys. It is very good. I always talk about it in the same breath that I talk about Into the Badlands, and Warrior is amazing. Yes. Andrew Koji is just ridiculous. Joe Taslim's in it. It's a really good show, man. Season 3 was excellent. I finished it. How'd you feel? How did you feel about season 3 and the way it ended? And
I forgot how it ended. What happened again? I know it was a cliffhanger.
Spoiler alert! If you have not watched Warrior season 3, you might want to skip this. So remember, Chow gets
he gets killed.
I don't know. He got stabbed a lot.
I think he's dead, bro.
He got stabbed a lot.
Yeah, I remember. And he was like saying goodbye to his like kids and all of that, right? Like
Chow has his hands in a lot of things, and that was the guy I think from season 1 that they remember the guy who stabbed him was somebody he had trouble with back in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this season was dope. We had the really dope the whole thing with Assam. They were doing this was the season about they running the counterfeit bills operation, and he ends up falling in love with the girl,
and he was this close to leaving.
He was gonna leave, and then he gets like knocked out. You know what I mean? He gets knocked out, and then he kind of misses the train, and then Young June kind of, is getting irritated with him, and then they clash, and Assam just beats the brakes off of.
And to be honest, I thought that fight was like closer than it even should have been. Like,
was it?
I mean, it was. Listen,
I felt like
he did, but he should. He like got hit a couple times, and it was like
he was also like he got messed up. Remember, so he was like he was wounded pretty bad.
Yeah, I guess. I just feel like he shouldn't have been touched by him. Like he should have just like held his head back like the bullies used to do, just like hold you by your head, and then you would just be swinging like this. That's what I felt like that fight should have went.
Yeah, but man, Warrior's so good. It's such incredible action scenes and the grittiness, and then we obviously saw Joe Taslim's character. He's showing he's even though he's on the what's the name of their, I know Assam's, their group is called the Hopway. What's the name of his sister's group?
I don't know.
This is gonna bother me, man. This is gonna bother me. What is it?
I'm gonna look it up.
What is it? I forgot. But he kind of, he had some moments too, where everybody,
The Long Z,
yeah, and she was kind of making deals behind everybody's back, and then the elders got fed up with her, and then she tried to have the elders assassinated, and then they Mark Dacascos's character, remember he's really good in the show too.
I'm glad that he's getting work again.
Me too. I love
he's low key a legend.
He comes back to try to kill her, and then Joe Taslim's character gets pissed because they were like best friends, and then he's kind of forced to kill him to protect Assam's sister.
Yeah.
But just this season was fire, man. It was really good. I don't know how it would compare. I think season one was amazing.
I like
season
all
2,
3 seasons, bro.
all seasons were good, but season 2 finale, bro, with the nunchucks and the riot fight was just incredible. This season was good too. I'm scared, man, because it got canceled. That's why people got to run it up on Netflix, because the way it ended in a way where they were definitely intending to do a season 4,
bro.
So we can't.
And it was popular. Like I don't
understand why either. But we can't let it end like this. So everybody, you're listening to this, you got to check out Warrior. It's fire. One of the best like action series out. Some of the best fight scenes. Andrew Koji, Joe Taslim, incredible. Gotta watch it.
Yeah, it's great.
Boom. Mr. Larry, tell you what.
Mr.
Larry be trying to throw hands and just blow stuff up all the time. I'll tell you what, I'm Mr. Larry. If you don't get my brother's jobs, I'll come to your place of work and I'll blow it up. You hear me?
He do be trying to sock and explode people.
I've got hands and dynamite, and I'll blow you up. I'll blow you to bits. You hear me?
I've got hands and dynamite. That might be the episode.
Yo, but season 2 though,
He tuned him up. he tuned that nigga up a little bit.
Assam tuned him up, and he doesn't get too. That's the one guy he won't get too. He won't get too mouthy with. You saw he came to Chinatown and. In season 3, and the song was kind of like, "Hey man, what's up?"
Right, bro. I thought we handled this shit, nigga. What the fuck you still doing in my hood? I thought we handled this shit. You remember when I beat your ass, nigga? Remember when I beat the brakes off your whole ass? Right. Don't come back around here no more.
God, that show's so good. Warrior, watch it. Shout out to Bruce Lee, the GOAT, man. He wrote it.
Yes.
Legend. All right, man, real quick, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this.
Hey.
Oh, Easter egg. Shogun, man. So I'm on episode 3. I just started watching Shogun.
Mm-hmm.
So I talked a little bit off air. I was very surprised because I actually read this book when I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
Had no idea that this show was based off of that book.
Mm-hmm.
So within the first about 15 minutes of the first episode, I realized that this was what this show was based off of. But again, really good. We love Hiroyuki Sanada. He's a King Elder for sure.
Elder. Yep.
He's one of our guys, and seeing him get a huge lead like this is really, really dope, man. The guy is just amazing in everything he does, bro. It doesn't matter what it is. He's so good. And seeing him in this is dope. I love it so far. I was so happy to just the production value, man. You know what I mean? That was kind of the thing that I was the happiest about when I started watching it, just kind of being able to see like, oh yeah, they went. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They went all the way in. So I'm excited to get caught up on the episodes. But my early thoughts of Shogun, I love it. It's fire.
Yeah, I too love it. I have not read the book, but I do know about the period of history that it's based on. It's based on not exactly the Warring States, the Sengoku era. It's based on the period right after that.
Mm-hmm.
It's technically still a part of that era, but it's where after Nobunaga was killed by, let's think about this. It was Ieyasu, I think. I'm pronouncing his name wrong. And then there was somebody who worked up underneath him. Toyotomo Hideyoshi is the person who like he ended the Sengoku period. He unified all of Japan. Yeah. And he meant to go conquer China, and he was going to try to conquer Korea and China, but he died ahead of time before he could, before his heir came of age, and left the child heir of the shogun in the care of these 5 warlords.
Yep.
None of the names in the show are the same as they were in actuality. And I think I have some of these names wrong, but the guy Toranaga, who is played by the King Elder Hideki, or what the fuck? Why did I just forget his name? I was about to say Hideki Matsui from baseball. Hiroki Sanada. He is like emblematic of like a real person who I think he might be the one. I need to look this shit up, bro. But anyways, I'll figure it out. But anyway, the point is, it is based off of like a real period in history, and this like exact story is similar to Game of Thrones, which was like inspired by a story in history.
Okay.
This was also inspired by like a very specific period and a very specific set of circumstances that led to like what transpires in this story. So I'm looking forward to finishing it. I have not read the book. But the production value, the acting, everybody's acting their asses off.
Facts.
Everything looks great. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, man. I was very caught off guard in the first episode when a guy just gets his head cut off, and it's kind of the first. It was really the first, I guess, piece of violence that happened. I mean, I guess, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
I beg your pardon?
yeah, it was pretty intense. But show's awesome. Love it. Very excited about it. Can't wait to get caught up to where it's at now. And one more thing before we get into these meat and potatoes here. You talked to me yesterday about 3 Body Problem. I have not watched it yet, but you described it to me yesterday, and you had briefly talked about this on here before, and I believe you were watching the Chinese series. Yes,
I was. Yes.
Okay.
Ieyasu is not he would have been one of the members of the Council of 5 Elders, and he's the one that eventually took over. Yeah.
Okay.
Tokugawa Ieyasu. Anyways, there's a lot of history there and I kind of don't want to read anymore because I think I might spoil it for myself.
Spoil it for you
if I know the history too much. So anyways, yeah, 3 Body Problem. Yeah, it's fire. It is very, very sweaty. It is my type of
hard sci-fi.
I mean, I like it all. I like hard sci-fi, I like fantasy sci-fi, I like it all. Hard sci-fi I think is rarer, and it's like I think hard sci-fi is more niche.
Is Interstellar hard sci-fi?
Yes, it is.
I love that movie.
Interstellar,
incredible.
I love Interstellar. The Martian is also considered hard sci-fi. I'm not as big a fan of The Martian.
I haven't seen that. Oh, speaking of sci-fi movies, real quick. So shout out to my homie Nick. You know, we do the film swap thing where we recommend movies to each other and we watch them. He had me watch this movie called Vast of Night. It was fire. It takes place in the 50s. And it's about these there's these people with a radio station, and they do it's in the 50s. They do you know what it reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of it has a Stranger Things vibe, but this is the 50s, right? You don't usually see, like I love the 80s as a period for sci-fi stuff. Mm-hmm. This movie takes place in the 50s, but it has a very Stranger Things vibe. And there's this radio broadcast, and they start hearing this frequency over their radio broadcast, and it's like an alien invasion movie from the perspective of these people that are doing this radio broadcast. It's actually really dope, man. And it
sounds like it was inspired by War of the Worlds.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. I couldn't think of it.
The original broadcast of War of the Worlds.
Yeah, that I couldn't think of it. The name of that, but that's what I was getting at.
That sounds like it could be.
It's interesting. It's mad art house film, like mad, very, very good camera work, and you can tell they're, when you watch these low budget movies, like they make up for it with just mad style in the filmmaking. So
some tech,
right. But that movie was good.
I think that fantasy sci-fi is a lot more marketable than hard sci-fi. So as a result, you'll see a lot of like sweaty ass nerds that are super into hard sci-fi, and then there's like a line, right? Like
Orson Welles, is that the guy that did the War of the Worlds?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was trying to think of that.
Then there's like this weird space in between like fantasy and hard sci-fi. I would say like Tenet, Inception, like those types of movies are somewhere in the middle.
Hard sci-fi and
because they don't really like the science piece. So the way that I understand it, I've said this before for those who don't know, the way that I understand the difference between hard sci-fi and fantasy sci-fi, or like high sci-fi, or whatever you want to call it, space operas, is that in hard sci-fi you are bound by the laws of like quote unquote realistic and like potentially attainable science.
I was gonna say in science,
right?
Real tangible
science, right? Yeah. I don't think that Inception or Tenet are there because they just kind of yada past how this is all possible. Mm-hmm. Again, the technology does it. Does it.
Just think about it. Just feel.
Like the technology does this stuff. So,
but how?
Here's slow motion. Whoa. We're gonna turn the room upside down right quick. If you keep asking questions, you're gonna miss it. Watch. Denzel or John David Washington is gonna fight himself, but in reverse. Spoiler alert. Sorry, that was a major spoiler. But,
how is this all happening?
Look, he fucking did the thing in reverse. That's cool, right?
But how is it?
Dude, watch. We're gonna do Cars backwards, bro. We're gonna fucking do Cars backwards.
But wait, I still need to know how the other.
Just trust me, bro. Watch. We're gonna do some cool ass shit. We're gonna go inside of your dreams. We're gonna fucking flip the room upside down.
We're about to see some fires are gonna get cold, turn to ice.
Yeah, man. Just relax. Man. It'll be all good.
But I still don't.
We made $1 billion. Shut up. So,
for the record, I love Tenet, by the way.
Yeah, same. Me too.
And fire.
So, hard sci-fi doesn't let you get away with that shit. It's like, nah, how? Like the idea of the science being feasible is like sort of what it relies on.
Yeah. Okay.
This is kind of almost the plot of
Three Body Problem.
Well, I was about to say something that I would have considered a spoiler, so I won't say it. This shit is just so what I explained to Noveliss yesterday, and it kind of harkens back to our conversation about our connection to anime and like certain motifs, certain like archetypes of storytelling. I think one of the reasons why people gravitate to anime, to like K-dramas, to like these sort of like Hunger Game-esque, Battle Royale-esque, like survival game type shit that are super popular now, Squid Games, whatever, is because these are motifs that are common in the East and like, you know, China, Japan, Korea, you know, this like Eastern, like non-Eurocentric style of storytelling, but they're new to us over here. Right. So like I find myself super interested in anime is not like from like you and I's perspective who has grown up around anime for damn near almost 30 years at this point. Like that's not new to us anymore, but I think that's the appeal in America is because to a lot of people, the way the storytelling rhythms are just not the same as the kind of building blocks that we've been using to tell Western stories for like the past 400 years, right? Like the hero's journey and all this very regimented shit that you can kind of assume what's going to happen next, right? Like, and even some of our favorite movies, man, like Dune, Star Wars, pick your poison, right? Like they have these motifs and these themes that keep coming around, right?
Right.
This story ain't got none of that shit, bro. It is, and I say this with full confidence, whether you like this movie or not, and I think, or this story or not, and I think you'll like it. I love it. I think it's fantastic. Is it my favorite sci-fi story ever? No, but is it in my top 5? Maybe.
Hey.
Is it in my top 5 favorite sci-fi stories ever? Perhaps. God damn it.
Oh, wow.
But whether you like it or not, what I will tell you with utmost certainty is that this story has no precedent. I've never seen or heard or experienced a story about what it's about told in the way that it's told. I haven't seen any story told this way before. Certainly not a story about what it's about. And like the way that they drop little hints and like just kind of unfold this whole thing I've never seen anything like it. It's fucking phenomenal, bro. So I'm gonna give a spoiler that I gave Noveliss yesterday. So this is a major spoiler here. It isn't really a major spoiler because what happens here, and I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but I'm gonna tell you what happens. And it happens in the first episode of the show. But the reason why I want to tell you what happens is because I think the way they did it in the show.
You said they did it differently in the other show.
They did it how they did the Chinese show is like a 1-to-1
of the book,
like translation of the book, like straight up. And it was 30 episodes. This is 8 episodes, so it's much. They condense a lot of stuff, which is fine. Like I'm okay. I think they mostly did a pretty good job.
Damn, you said it was 30
episodes in the Chinese.
Put it down to 8.
Yes.
Is it only one season? It's
only one season so far. And
do you finished it?
I didn't, and I'll tell you why in a second. So the reason why I want to say what happens here is because I think the show, and I generally like the show a lot. I think they do a pretty good job. My one complaint is that they wasted one of the fucking coolest sci-fi kind of horror suspense reveals ever. When I saw this shit when I read this in the book the first time, I was listening to an audiobook and I was driving to Milwaukee for work. When they dropped the bomb and pulled the lid off of what was happening with this particular bit, I had to pull my car over because I was like, my head was spinning, bro. I was like, bro, what the fuck is going on, dog? And they kind of blow their load, pause or not. They blow their load with this like right away. So here's what happens. The premise is that like scientists are like really confused about like science not sciencing anymore. It's just not like science. The laws of science just seem to stop working. A lot of people are pissed. Some people go ahead and off themselves as a result because they've been driven crazy. One such scientist happens to be. This is the way it's done in the book.
Like the way you explained this to me was insane. You were like. You're like, so imagine you go and you go to lay a basketball up and you shoot it off the glass like you always do. You've been doing your whole life, and it just doesn't go in. It goes in the net and then just comes out the top of the rim. And you're like,
no matter how
it doesn't matter what you do. Just the laws of basketball have just
stopped working.
They just stopped working.
Or like
that's crazy.
Another way is like imagine you're in a game and you score a layup. and suddenly your basket is worth the other team's 2 points.
Bro.
And you're just like, what the fuck? I've been playing basketball my whole life. Like, what do you mean?
So crazy and weird.
So one of the scientists happens to also be an amateur photographer. And this is how it happens in the book and in the Chinese show. They don't do this in the Netflix show. But y'all are missing out, so I'm going to share it with you. Here's how it breaks down. He happens to be he is hearing about all of his friends in the science world killing themselves and just like going nuts, and he's starting to be like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with these niggas, bro? Like, I don't understand. So he's a amateur photographer, and he's stressed out, so he goes and does some amateur photographering. Takes his picture. He goes to develop the film, and he notices in the bottom right hand corner of his photo, there's some numbers, a series of numbers. And he's like, oh, that's weird. Like, huh. Take some more pictures, develop some more. And every single one has like these numbers in the bottom right corner. He's like, bro, what the fuck is that? Like, my camera doesn't have a timer on it. So like, what is this?
Bro.
So he switches out his camera. He's got a backup camera, does the same thing, takes the picture, develops the films, sees the number again. And now he's noticing that the numbers are counting down. It's like each time, each film or each photo,
that's so weird.
the number is counting down. He's like, bro, what is this, bro? Like, cause it's not syncing up with time. It's not like the time of day. So like, what is happening? So he changes medium. He uses a digital camera that takes the picture instantly. So he doesn't have to develop it. Takes the picture on the digital display again, sees the number, the countdown. And he's like, bro, like, all right, this is getting kind of weird, bro. So now he's like, he hasn't unraveled yet, but he's almost unraveled. He goes and borrows his friend's camera. Totally different brand name, totally different everything. Takes a random picture of whatever, develops a film, countdown is back. He takes like 1,000 pictures, bro, and he's like starting to lose his shit. He develops like a wall full of pictures.
Dog,
each one has the countdown.
Weird, bro.
So then
I ain't even watched it, and it freaks me out. It's so weird.
Peep, dog. So then now he's freaking losing his mind. He goes to his little like 6-year-old daughter and like takes her play camera. It's just like a play like fake camera. Takes a little picture. Has her take a picture. Bro, I forgot to tell you this yesterday. Has her take a picture. On her picture, there's no countdown. Then he takes the same exact picture of the same thing. The countdown's back. He's like, he's fucking freaking out at this point, bro. Then he rushes to like, he goes to like CVS or something and buys like a fucking Polaroid, like just a random like little like disposable camera off the shelf. Takes a bunch of pictures. The fucking countdown is still there. The countdown is still there. And he's like, dog, all right, bro. What the fuck is happening, bro?
This is stressing me out.
So then he's like absolutely lost his mind at this point. He's like, bro, like I don't understand what's going on. Is anybody else seeing this shit, bro? Like what's happening?
Bro.
So then this nigga takes a nap, bro, and wakes up.
No.
And he thinks that there's something on his glasses lens. So he takes off his glasses and rubs his eyes. Nigga, the countdown is in his field of vision, bro. It's in his field of vision. There's no camera. There's no nothing. The countdown is just in his field of vision. As if he's like looking through, as if his own eyeball is a camera. He closes his eyes and goes to sleep. The countdown is still there with his eyes closed. And he sleep and he sees it all night long when he's sleeping. And he just goes the next couple of days with the countdown just in his field of vision. And he just has to be like can't explain it to anybody. Bro, when I got to the part where they said that the fucking countdown was in his field of vision, that's when I had to pull my car over. I was like, bro, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck's going on right now, dog? It's an amazing, it's an amazing little like thriller kind of reveal. And I gotta say, unfortunately,
I'm
bro,
about to watch it.
In the show, I
might just watch the Chinese one too, though.
It's on YouTube, bro. The Chinese one is good. It's on YouTube.
I
forget. You could just type in three body problem Chinese, and it'll pop
weird.
up. But like, unfortunately, and here's the spoiler: in the Netflix show, and for the interest of time, because this probably would have been a whole entire episode just on this one thing. I would have loved to see it, but they go right into like the main character sees like a reflection in the glass and like thinks something's wrong, rubs her eyes, and then the countdown just appears in her field of view just right away.
Oh, so they didn't build up to it.
They didn't build up to it, bro.
Oh,
the build up is what
that sounded,
bro. The build
so
up was what made it special, in my opinion. So they did not do that. Now this is where I'll stop talking, because like they even tell you kind of what's going on pretty early on, and it still ain't even really the whole thing
not
yet.
registering.
It's still not even really giving you all the stuff. Like the way that they fucking break down the mystery is just so fucking good, man.
It's just weird, man.
It's weird. It's like because we're not used to stories like this, bro.
And
we
it's
haven't
scary.
we haven't heard this style of storytelling before, man, and how like
what?
everything was a surprise, bro. It was just a genuinely refreshing take on like a sci-fi thriller.
Oof.
Strongly recommend y'all read the book. Oh, I didn't finish the series. Here's why. Because they're going super fast, man. I got to the 6th episode out of 8, and I was like, damn, bro, this is where the book ends. Y'all got 2 whole episodes left. What are we doing here? Yeah. This is a trilogy. The book is a trilogy.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I knew it, but I just
okay.
didn't know that they were going to go past the first book.
Right.
They are apparently going into the first season on Netflix will end in the middle of the 2nd book. So I put that shit on pause, and I got right into that audiobook, and I'm speeding through that bitch right now. I gave myself into the weekend. However far I get this weekend, because I don't think they're gonna go super far into it.
Yeah.
But however far I get into this weekend, hopefully it'll be enough for me to feel confident going into the last couple of episodes. Because it gets crazier. I don't even know what happens in those other books, but from what I'm hearing, it gets fucking crazy.
So they're doing those other books too in this.
Yes.
They're addressing that in this season too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, it's there's some. We're gonna have to do a Doom breakdown, and we're gonna have to do a 3-body problem breakdown. Like getting into the dirt of all of it.
Dirt.
Yeah, because it's some stuff. It's some stuff in there, dog. Woo!
Lisa Navagaib. All right, man. Let's go. Meat and potatoes time.
Yeah.
There's a show that came out that is a property that Omari is obsessed with.
From day one, bro.
From day one. 90s.
90s kid.
X-Men 97 is out. 2 episodes deep. Thoughts?
Look, man. I had very high expectations for this shit, bro. And they were met. I can't lie. I thought that shit was fire, bro. We had some concerns about the animation quality. It looked a little kind of flash gamey a little bit. But man, like the action scenes, bro, they gave everybody their flowers. Look, bro, there's this scene with Storm, dog.
Oh my gosh.
It's by far and away the best Storm action sequence that we've ever seen on film.
Ever.
Outside of the comics.
Ever.
It's without question.
The build up, the moment, the music that plays.
They dropped
the bar that gets dropped as she approaches the scene.
They finally gave the Queen Mother Goddess, Grand High Priestess, her fucking due.
Oh.
The Sentinel stopped in his tracks.
Dog.
And said Omega level
mutant.
Omega level threat detected.
Threat detected, yeah.
And then they dropped the spooky piano on y'all ass.
Boss music.
Ancient Sands, heed my command, bro, and remove these relics of evil from my presence, dog.
And the dog, this scene, the X-Men had been fighting the Sentinels already.
Yeah, they had put up a scrap already.
They were already fighting them for a long time, and then Storm
was just back there, like,
and Storm just comes. Omega level threat detected. Boss music just gets
literally.
It's raining Sentinel parts.
Dog, it was incredible.
It was raining.
It was so fire.
It was raining Sentinel parts.
Yeah, man. It was great, bro. Like they gave Cyclops, bro. Cyclops was fucking cool in this shit, man.
Bro. You know what? So my original thoughts on this, I didn't think I was gonna like it. I saw the trailers and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like the animation. I actually I think I have just anime eyes, right? And just anime and manga eyes, and I'm so used to those styles, and I don't like the 3D looking animation. I like I like what I like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And I'm honestly not even certain if I like the animation. I don't know if I do or not. But it's so good. It's done with the utmost care and taste, and it's just good. It's really good, man. The action scenes are fire.
Yep.
It seems to me that there's a legitimate focus on redeeming Cyclops.
For sure.
And as X-Men comic book readers, he's already been dope, and he's already kind of had that redemption in the comic books.
Yeah.
Not on screen, not in the cartoon. You know what I mean? So I think that's cool that they are kind of he is already, they have really made him into, a dope character now, and just, bro, the action scenes, he like using the optic blast to like move around, and
so the reason why this is cool and what an amazing attention to detail is that for the first time ever in any medium outside the comics, they got Cyclops' powers right. His powers are not hot. He does not shoot lasers out of his eyes. He doesn't shoot solar energy out of his eyes.
optic blast.
He shoots concussive blast, which basically means when he opens his eyes and he looks at you, you're getting hit by a truck. It's just force. It's power. It's like...
It's not hot.
No, it's like... It is concussive, like knockdown, pushback force. So if he looked at... That's the reason why he was able to land with that sweet-ass superhero landing that he did, because he's shooting out like...
Brown leather jacket on behalf of this pair of laser eyes. That was a sweet line. I said that.
And he's able to push himself around because he's basically like extending an arm and pushing back.
It's crazy,
bro. He used his optic blast to block a kick. Did you see that shit?
Yes. Check the kick with his. Oh my goodness!
I see you, Bop.
Bro. Block it, checking. He's checking hits with.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, so cool, man. And then you got the moment Gambit charging the Wolverine's claws, bro, and the team up attacks, and oh man,
I was a little. I mean, yeah, it's hard to be upset about this, but Wolverine's voice actor has aged, and it's pretty obvious.
It's pretty obvious. I agree. It's there.
I'm glad it's still him. Right, I'd rather be him than anybody else. So, he's thinking that shit was 30 years ago, but he was already old.
He was old then,
so it's fine. I don't. So like I have very, very small nitpicky complaints, right? Like I don't completely love the Gambit voice actor. That's a new voice actor.
Yeah.
He's all right, but they should have. I'm telling you, man, they got to play him as some like regular white guy. Go find me
gotta be a Cajun from the
bayou, goddamn it, alligator speaking ass nigga to play him
on a sketchy boat coming down the swamp,
right?
Fishing for the crawfish,
right?
The alligators.
Crawdaddy. We're gonna get in some crawdaddy. We need that. Like one of my favorite episodes. Mild spoiler of the original cartoon is that Christmas episode where him and Jean got into a fight about cooking, and basically Gambit tried some of her shit and was like, "Girl, this shit you ain't put no cayenne on this mud, you ain't put no paprika on here, you ain't put nothing on here." She basically told her that he basically told her that her food was unseasoned, dog. Hey, which is I mean, as Cajuns, they cook like black folks. So got to hit it with that paprika, hit it with that cayenne.
Dog.
But no, they kind of got a white bread guy doing a impression of occasion. And he's doing an okay job, but whatever.
Not like what we are used to or what we need.
What we need for sure.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man, bottom line,
It's fire.
show's dope. Show's dope. I was very impressed. Didn't think I would like it at all because of the animation. It's good, man, and I'm very excited to watch the next episode. And they are torturing us with the one episode a week thing. But hey,
it's weird that they didn't choose to drop it on Saturday mornings. How cool would that have been?
Oh, they definitely dropped the ball with that. I mean, you know how many 30 and up people you would have had sitting with a bowl of cereal watching X-Men on Saturday morning?
I would have.
Forcing the kids to watch it too?
Come here, sit down. Watch this shit. Nope. I don't want to hear it. Come here.
You don't have a choice. This is what I used to do when I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Now they may have missed a good opportunity there, but I bet they're probably just like, it's streaming. They can watch it on Saturday morning if they want.
Yeah.
Whatever, dog. But nonetheless, it's fire. Can't wait for more. Boom.
Yes.
Let's go. Keeping it X-Men and X-Men heavy. We're gonna get a couple X-Men top fives here. You already know, Hero. Can't wait to talk about this. Who are your top 5 favorites X-Men of all time? Now, we're talking X-Men, okay? So, it could be X-Men, X-Force, some of the extended family teams, Uncanny X-Force, Uncanny X-Men, whatever.
I could have made an entire list of any of those teams, but we're just
But with that said, let's get it, man.
I'm going to just go with the main team, bro. With the main team. And listen, dog. I could have literally named
Marv. Sorry.
I mean, bro, who do you want? Like I got all of them. You know what I mean?
Oh, jeez.
I got all of them, bro. So let's start. Look, I only did 4 honorable mentions. I could have did so many more. We got Lucas Bishop. We got Psylocke. We got Archangel, who was my favorite version of Angel. I always liked him better than the original version of Angel with the blue. I like the version of Archangel when he still has the blue and the metal wings, but has broken free of
From
Apocalypse.
the Apocalypse control, yep.
So he's like blue, but he still has the original Angel suit. It's fire.
Very dope.
Bobby Drake, man, one of the originals.
Iceman.
One of the first, maybe the first confirmed Omega level mutant, I think. I don't know if that's true, but one of the first confirmed. And you never get to see him really use his Omega level powers.
You do not.
You see him do it in the comics a few times, but you have to understand, relative to the rest of the X-Men, he's the youngest and the least, quote unquote, least mature. So he's got a lot of Emma Frost kind of tapped in his potential one time, and she was like, "Oh damn, this nigga is like OP. He don't even know it. But he's super OP." Because his power is not just control over ice. He's got a similar power set to Storm. Like he has complete control over any type of moisture down to the molecular level. He just so happens to be really good at the ice part. That part comes natural, but he can do everything when it comes to moisture. Theoretically, but he just hasn't figured out how to do it yet. At least I'm not super up to date with X-Men right now, so as far as I'm aware, he has not fully tapped into it. So just I'll keep it short, bro. I could talk about this for forever, but I won't.
Nah, man, talk. What the SpongeBob mean? Talk. TAWK.
This is a new one into my top 5, man, because I'm happy that we are seeing the version of him maybe on screen that we have long known him to be in the comics, and that is Scott Summers' Cyclops, bro.
Hey.
Cyclops was such a cop.
He was a cop.
In the first
police officer.
Or in the first version of this cartoon.
Goodness gracious.
He was so unfun. he was
Fun police.
such a stickler, like just all American Boy Scout, bro. Like he
Fun
made
police.
he made Captain America look like a hippie by comparison,
bro.
But man, in the comics, bro, Cyclops was so into this mutant liberation shit that he made. There were times where Magneto was like, "Nigga, fuck Xavier, bro. Like you talking the same shit I'm talking. Like you on the same shit I'm on, dog. Like Xavier holding you back, brother." But yeah, man, Cyclops got hands too. Y'all don't understand, bro.
He does, man.
Cyclops got hands, dog.
He got hands on Marvel vs. Capcom too,
bruh. Like it's not just the optic blast, he's a brilliant tactician. He's a brilliant strategic mind. He's got like damn near Captain of America level hands, and just in terms of just like, hey, put the gloves on and let's fight. Like I'll box any of you niggas, bro. The only person on the team that got more hands than him off top is probably Wolverine. And that's just, Wolverine been doing this shit for 100 years.
Wolverine's then lived multiple lifetimes of...
I can't think of anybody else. Gambit got hands too. Oh, shit. Gambit got... So I would say Gambit and Cyclops are in a similar tier in terms of just handsmanship.
Handsmanship.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a great word.
And Nightcrawler also got hands. Mm-hmm. Even though he's a pacifist, did you know that I don't know the context of this story, but Nightcrawler posed as Spider-Man. I think that happened just now. I think that happened recently. No,
it may have. I mean, easily.
They got very similar kind of. I mean, they have similarities in their power. I wouldn't say they're that similar, but they both can like do the wall crawly kind of stuff.
Their movements.
Yeah. So yeah, handsmanship, Cyclops. Speaking of hands, number 4, Gambit, Remy LeBeau.
Remy LeBeau.
Hey, listen, man, Gambit, obviously one of the coolest designs ever. You love his like mysterious backstory. He's got a really cool power, super creative power. He's got a Goku-esque extendo
he
pole.
Does. And just a quintessential Rob Liefeld face shield designy looking guy.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know this about Gambit. So Gambit is another person who has been rumored to be, I don't think they're ever going to confirm this, but Mr. Sinister thinks that Gambit has Omega level potential.
That's interesting. I mean, isn't there a What If comic where he
blows
charges
up the
whole planet and blows it up?
Yep. I think that version of him is called like the Blue Sun or the something Sun. And he puts his hands on the ground and charges the whole entire planet.
Goodness gracious.
A lot of people don't know this about him, but he also has a second mutation. That's a thing that Marvel introduced about maybe 15 or 20 years ago, where like some mutants have a second mutation. I think they retconned Wolverine when they retconned him to have always had the bone claws. When they first introduced Wolverine, the claws were added because the cartoon describes this. The claws were added as a part of the Weapon X project. But the retcon, when they finally went back and like gave him a full backstory, the James Howlett story, his mutation was the bone claws. Like that was his actual power. And a second mutation was the healing factor, or vice versa. I can't remember which one came first. But another example is Beast, right? Beast has actually had 3 mutations. He's got like, because the first version of Beast was not blue. He was just like a weird man with like, hey, I'm kind of short and I got long arms and I'm flexible.
Yeah, I've seen that with the big hands.
Yeah. I'm kind of a ape man sort of.
Yeah.
And depending on the source material, he either like did a genetic experiment on himself and turned himself blue by mistake. But then even after he was blue, he had a second mutation that turned him like feline-ish a little bit, because there are versions of Beast that look like a tiger, kind of like he's like a blue cat instead of like a blue monkey. That sounds racist, but yep. So Gambit also has a second mutation. His main power is to be able to charge items with explosive kinetic energy, And his second mutation, and I kid you not, this is real, you can look it up, is that nigga just got game. Like I swear to God, bro, his second mutation is that he's got actual he's got like I forget exactly how they describe it, but it's like a legitimately hypnotic charm. Like he will talk your pants off no matter who you are. That's I'm telling you, it's a real thing, bro. Like he has an actual second mutation that is a charmed, like hypnotic suggestion type of swagger, and that nigga just hypnotic, and he'll make you do whatever the fuck he want. Wolverine's son Dakin also has this power. He has like a pheromone thing that like makes you want to fuck him. I know it's weird, but it's true. What do you want from me? I didn't write it. Look up Dakin. Look up I forget his actual real name, but Wolverine's son who keeps trying to kill him over and over again. I think he's finally dead though. I think he's dead. Only one of Wolverine's kids, one of his many children that are still alive, I think, is Lorna Kinney, aka X-23, who also could have been an honorable mention, to be honest, but she's not. All right, number 3. Got to make sure we put the proper respect on her name. Queen, Mother Goddess, and Grand High Priestess, Aurora Storm Monroe.
Boom.
Sorry. Yeah, bro. I mean, I was so happy to see her get her just due, man. Omega, we have been saying that she's Omega level forever. She was confirmed as an Omega level by Hickman, and in that Rise of the Dawn of X comic, and is now officially on screen confirmed to be an Omega level mutant along with Magneto. Not Xavier. The only other members of the X-Men that are a popular member of the X-Men that are Omega level are Iceman and Magneto, Storm, and that's it. There are a few others. There's Elixir. There's Darwin. Don't nobody know who I'm talking about though. Elixir, Darwin, Quentin Quire, Kid Omega, that is, and a few others. But y'all don't know who I'm talking about, so we'll just keep it with the main. I don't be bullshitting, bro. I know this X-Men shit, bro. I've been doing this shit since forever. And then for number 2, I got to make sure I get the proper honorifics because you already know who it is. I'm actually going to add an honorific that we did not have before. King Elder. Honorable Rabbi Dr. Max Magnus Eisenhart X, conquering lion of the tribe of Benjamin, elder to the Council of Krakoa, and the master of magnetism. Let me say it again if y'all niggas didn't hear me. That is King Elder, Honorable Rabbi Dr. Max Magnus Eisenhart X, the conquering lion of the tribe of Benjamin, elder of the Council of Krakoa, and the master of magnetism, Magneto. Enough said, bro.
Oh.
Mags.
Preach on, Reverend.
Mags, dog.
Mags with a Z.
All right. I mean, what can he do? He's so dope, man.
Dog.
But I've talked about him enough. And then I've also talked about my number 1. If you can't guess who this is, you don't know me very well. Obviously, number 1 is Wolverine. I'm the best at what I do, and what I do ain't pretty. One of the most iconic comic book characters ever. Like,
absolutely one of the most recognizable comic book characters of all time.
I mean, I would say that he's the most popular Marvel character outside of Spider-Man. Is it Spider-Man then Wolverine?
He's definitely top 3 for sure. I mean, when you used to play, remember the Ultimate Alliance games?
Yep.
It's always Spider-Man, Wolverine, Hulk. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Look, if you just talk about comic book characters in general, if you had a top 5 of just most popular comic book characters,
most recognizable,
I think you got to put him in there. I think you go Superman, Batman, Spider-Man.
I think Spider-Man's first.
Oh, nah, not over Superman.
Over Superman?
Yeah, nah, dog.
I think I just hate Superman.
Agreed. I mean,
and that's
obviously.
And that's why I'm just kind of like, really?
For sure. But, like, in terms of, nigga, Superman is like, that nigga's an American icon, dog. Like,
yeah,
like,
that's true.
That nigga's more Captain America than Captain America will ever be. So, but yeah, I mean, Spider-Man's probably next. You probably go Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, Wolverine, The Flash. The Hulk, maybe. I don't know who would be in that 5th spot, but I think Wolverine. I can't think of anybody that I would put over Wolverine other than those 3 in terms of recognizability.
That's facts.
So yeah, man. Shout out to Wolverine. He's been doing this shit since the 70s. Wasn't even supposed to be a main character. Was not an original member of the X-Men. Started off as a villain in the very first, a stupid fucking one-off villain. It was so dumb.
Oh my gosh.
But you know, once he joined the squad, it was all, and he's been a member of the fucking Avengers. He's been a member of the Fantastic Four.
He's been a member of just about every team. Yeah,
I don't know if he was a member of X Factor, but I'm sure. I know he was a member. He was the leader of X Force for years.
Facts.
What else? He was a Horseman of Apocalypse. I think it was literally everything, bro. Shout out to Logan, the man. Workhorse. He's the workhorse of this promotion for sure.
Absolutely.
That's my top 5. Cyclops, Gambit, Storm, Magneto, Wolverine. I should do another top 5 of like
Bang.
top 5 like
just mutants.
Well, I was gonna say top 5 like slept on X-Men or slept on mutants because there's a
lot of good ones.
There's a bunch.
There are so many good ones. All right, man. Let's go. I'm gonna cheat. I love X-Men, but I also love X-Force, and I've been a big X-Force fan my entire life. So I'm gonna have a couple X-Force people and a couple X-Men on here. All mutants, all X team members. X-Force is kind of the
shut up. Sorry.
X-Force is just kind of the the Black Ops of
the wet work
teams.
You need somebody to disappear right quick. Holler at Cable and Deadpool. And
facts.
Fucking, that was the big Cable
X-Force,
Cable,
Deadpool,
Wolverine,
Domino, Psylocke's been in there, Archangels, and Uncanny X-Force.
Phantom X.
Phantom X is a very cool looking character, man. He's really dope too. Copycat, man. There's just a lot of X-Force members. But let's go. My first honorable mention, man, really would have. This is like 5B for me. I absolutely love this character, and honestly, probably should be in my top 5, but I just can't fit him in there because of the way this is. Cable, man. I love Cable.
Really?
Cable is one of my favorites.
Interesting that he's not in your top 5.
Yeah, I just couldn't squeeze him in here because of who's in here already. But Cable, absolutely love this guy. And when I was a kid, he was my favorite in the X-Men cartoon. And besides Wolverine, and he also just, X-Force comics, man. That dude was awesome. Crazy Rob Liefeld art. Cable's like 9 feet tall.
Bro, he's so jacked.
And he's just like 800 pounds of just muscle. Hilarious, man. He's one of the most ridiculous, like, drawn characters of all time. Like, he looks like an action figure.
It does. It looks it's so bad that like when a non-Liefeld artist draws him, it's almost like who even
it's
is
like
that?
Disrespectful because he's not cartoony big enough.
Yeah. Who is this?
Who's
imposter?
this regular sized man?
Did you remember that brief moment where there was like the baby Cable? Like there was like the kid version of Cable.
Yeah, the baby. That was in what story was that?
Messiah Complex?
Is that Messiah?
I think it was after that.
No, I think it is that. I think it is that. They had the baby Cable. And love Cable so much. He's my top honorable mention. Really just 5B for me. But let's go. Number 5. The Queen Mother herself. Storm, dog. Love Storm. I love all of Storm's different looks.
Bro, I'm so sorry. I forgot to say about Storm real quick. Cyclops don't got the most hands. Storm's got the most hands.
Storm's got hands.
Storm's beat the brakes off Cyclops when she was depowered.
Dog.
And said, nigga, you not fit for leadership. Cyclops was like, girl, you ain't got no powers. Storm was like, all right, bet, hoe ass nigga. Let's run the fade right now. Storm beat the shit out this nigga without any powers, just off the fade, just off the hands.
Oh my god!
And usurped leadership of the X-Men from Cyclops off that shit without powers. I can't believe I disrespected her like that. She got the most hands by far, no question about it.
Bang, Storm. She's a dog.
Yeah.
Again, just legendary character. Always loved her in the cartoon as well as the comics. She got one of the best looks. I love Mohawk Storm. I love long hair Storm. Just one of the most iconic X-Men. Definitely top 5 for me. Number 4, maybe the weirdest character on this list with a ridiculous kind of backstory, Psylocke. I love Psylocke, but you gotta recognize that, like, so Psylocke is Quanon, right? This ninja.
It depends on when.
And that's right.
As of right now, they're separate and they're 2 different characters.
Yeah, they're 2 different characters now. I think Dawn of X kind of fixed that.
They did.
Back in like 2019.
Yes, finally.
And they finally fixed that whole weird, crazy thing. But
and Betsy Braddock is now Captain.
Is Britain. Now Captain Britain, who she originally was, but their minds got switched. So Betsy Braddock was in Japanese woman's ninja body, who was Psylocke, and she was in her body since like the 80s.
Since like the late 80s, yeah.
And they finally fixed it. And now Quanon is back in the Psylocke body. So, but Psylocke's dope, man. She's always been one of my favorite characters since I was a kid. Really just dope. Awesome powers. One of my favorite X-Men of all time. Number 4. Number 3. Going back to the weird X-Force, another just maybe the best example of a Rob Liefeld creation. And that is my guy Shatterstar, man. I love Shatterstar.
That's awesome.
Again,
best hero name of all time, dog.
Sweet hero name.
Shatterstar,
dog. Again, we talked about before how the X-Force comic books were kind of like the edgy ones that like the teenagers were reading when we were kids. Mm-hmm. And I always loved X-Force, and Shatterstar's got so many fire moments. He has one of my favorite comic book fights of all time. He fights Deadpool in one of them, and he keeps up with him. And
I don't love his new look because they took his faceplate off.
I haven't seen what he looks like recently, but he
still looks cool.
I just loved his 90s look. He's son of Longshot. Obviously Master Swordman, super speed, reflexes. He can like open up portals and transport people through them. He's from Mojo World and that whole weird thing, and he was like the champion of the Mojo World arena for a long time, and he's one of the first X-Force members. He's just a really dope character. Always been one of my favorites. Number 3, Shatterstar.
Here's his new look.
Oh yeah, it's not whack, but it's not anywhere near as sweet as it was.
His swords are cool though.
Coming in at number 2, we already know my favorite from the comics, from the cartoon, Wolverine, man. Yeah. Could sit here and talk about Wolverine all day. Just one of my favorite comic book characters of all time. Just one of the most iconic, characters ever, most recognizable characters ever. Man, so many dope moments in the comic books, the Weapon X stuff, just everything, man. Some of my first, when I was collecting on my own, a lot of my first, how many Wolverines did we have? You know what I mean? Growing up.
Honestly, I didn't have as many as most kids, but I still had like 4.
Yeah, right. and it's like, that's, when we're kids, you get one of everybody. But like even your moms are like, oh, we got to get them this Wolverine and this one. And got to have the Weapon X one with the helmet that came off.
And everybody had that one.
Everybody had that one.
Definitely had that one.
That one was the GOAT, man. But I love
the only toy that probably people got more of is probably Batman because he had, or Spider-Man maybe, because they, there was every different color, every different whatever.
Facts, man. So dope, man. Shout out to Wolverine. And number one, of course, another X-Force member. One of my favorite comic book characters of all time, man. Deadpool. Deadpool in the 90s was my guy. I'm not the biggest fan of how he's just like, and I mean, he's always been funny, but he is just
sort of slapstick.
I can't even read any of his new stuff because it's just like just comic relief, dog. Like I'm gonna blow my head off so I can duck under this bridge real quick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or just doing, stupid stuff like that. But man, if you go back and you read some of the older Deadpool stuff, the X-Force stuff from the early X-Force stuff, the New Mutant stuff, even his first run, he was really, really, really dope, man. So shout out to Deadpool. That's my top 5. 5B Cable, 5A Storm, and then we got Psylocke, Shatterstar, Wolverine, Deadpool. My absolute favorite X-Men characters, man. Let's go. Boom.
I'm looking at one of my old lists and I forgot. Yes, because I do have multiple lists. I forgot to give some love to Jean Grey, but particularly White Phoenix of the Crown.
White Phoenix of the Crown.
Y'all heard me say this before, but look, I'm not entertaining no versus nothing.
Nah.
White Phoenix of the Crown clears whoever you talking about.
Everybody.
Unless it's fucking the one above all or like the Beyonders. Not the one singular Beyonder, nigga. The Beyonders. The ones that are like outside of the multiverse. They not fucking with White Phoenix of the Crown. Like, she is multiversal. She shitting on Galactus. She shitting on Eternity. She shitting on nigga Thanos with or without the Infinity Gauntlet. I don't want to hear it. She shitting on Black Widow or obviously, but Scarlet Witch. I mean, she's shitting on fucking who's the hacks characters that people always want to try to pull out their pocket.
Oh man,
Sentry
is one.
Molecule Man. What's Reed Richards' son? Franklin Richards.
Frank Richards. Yeah.
No. Unless there's a character, who would actually probably be a good, and I think she'll probably clear him too. Protege, just because he has this ability to just like copy anybody's power with no upper limits.
Yeah,
that's bullshit.
That's cheating.
But whatever. I don't think he's multiversal, so I don't think she would win that. But you know who in a different universe? Darkseid, perhaps, because Darkseid is not limited to one universe. That's the key. If you wield ultimate power over one universe, you're not fucking with White Phoenix of the Crown. There is one Phoenix Force, and it is multiversal. She is in complete control of all of it, and that's all. I don't want to hear nothing else,
folks.
Unless your name is like Evelyn from Everywhere, Everywhere, All at Once.
Jobu
Tupaki. Like that is. Jobu Tupaki is like the closest to White Phoenix of the Crown that we'll ever see.
What's the term for that? There's a name for that where she is like she's this version of herself in
everywhere. Yeah. Okay. So Marvel, the MCU has rebranded it. They're calling that a Nexus.
A Nexus being.
Yeah, that's not what it meant in a comic book.
Nah.
A Nexus. I think this is right. I'm sure Eric will chime in, or Rob Edmonds' brother will chime in if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure in the comic, a Nexus being is not just it's the same version in every comic or every universe. There is only one of them. Throughout the entire multiverse.
Yeah,
and that's what the White Phoenix of the Crown is. Like, there is only one Phoenix Force, and it permeates through all of the multiverse, not just one Phoenix per universe.
Mm.
And if you've got control over all of it, like what Jobu Tupaki was, where she had complete control over the entire multiverse, like that's the kind of shit that we're talking about with White Phoenix. So anyways, can't nobody fuck with her. I don't want to hear no more stories about Black Widow or about Scarlet Witch because she got hyped up in the MCU. I love Scarlet Witch. Let's not get it twisted, but come on.
Come on, what are we doing?
Come on.
God.
Come on. What are we talking about?
What we
here?
talking about over there, huh? But yeah, man, I feel you. White Phoenix to the crown.
Yeah, she doesn't make my top 5, but she is
Monster.
not to be fucked with.
Monster. Man, I love X-Men, and I just love 90s X-Men and X-Force stuff, man. I do.
Agreed.
I do. All right, man, let's go. The last. Gonna talk about X-Men one more time. One more top 5. We've been kind of cheating and doing multiple top 5s on these episodes with these specific themes. The 90s X-Men cartoon is maybe like if we did, I don't think we've ever done a definitive top 10 90s cartoons on here. We may have. I don't think so.
I think because I think this one, didn't it? Or like
we may have. Let me check.
Yeah, I think we might have.
I feel like we did, and I was gonna say that if we did that on here, it would be unanimously number 1. Yeah. This is we did, and it was number 1.
Yeah, that's
facts.
What I thought. Yep.
So, again, we did. Yep, this was number 1. Dexter's Lab was 2. Batman 3. Hey Arnold 4. Batman Beyond 5. Recess 6. Rugrats 7. Spider-Man 8. SWAT Cats 9.
Spider-Man 8 is crazy.
Spider-Man 8 is wild. Powerpuff Girls at 10. So we did do this, but I mean, it's the GOAT, man. This is the GOAT, and let's go. Top 5 favorite episodes of the 90s X-Men cartoon. Luckily for me, I just watched this entire show last year.
I just watched it all last month. So I'm ready. I'm locked and loaded, bro.
It was fresh in my mind because I had just watched it. So let's go, man. What are your top 5 favorite episodes?
All right, man.
Of the X-Men 90s cartoon.
Noveliss isn't gonna like this, but I had to cheat a little bit.
No,
I had to do the sagas as one because.
Oh no, I
saying?
feel you because one of my number 1 is a spoiler alert. My favorite episode is a 2-parter, so
yeah,
I'm not gonna split it into 2 episodes.
3 of mine are multi-parts. So number 5 is Beyond Good and Evil. That is what should have been and was probably going to be until they got. They got renewed and they didn't expect it with a shitty budget.
Yep.
But the season 4 finale, where they finally dispatched Apocalypse and you got to see Cable doing like they had to attack Apocalypse from like 2 different points in time, and they finally got rid of that
fire, man, fire. So good.
Quote unquote got rid of him. It's hard to get rid of.
Very
Apocalypse.
dope.
I love that episode. You got to see his son, who in some universes goes on to become a really, really bad supervillain, whose name I can't remember. It's Strife. That's the evil version of Cable.
Strife is evil Cable, yeah.
Yeah. Let's look this up real quick.
Strife is a great. He looks so sweet too.
He looks like
I've always loved the way that Strife looked, man. He looks awesome.
Cable's son, Tyler, is Tyler Dayspring. He goes on to become Genesis. Yeah. Genesis. He looks sweet as fuck too. And I think he has some Apocalypse connection, does he not? I'm not sure. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, Tyler Dayspring, his son, you got to see them in action. It was pretty cool. All right, number 4. I love this episode. Actually, I think this one is also a multi-parter. All of them are multi-parters except for one. So number 4 is the Proteus saga, the 2 episodes with Proteus, who is Moira McTaggart's son, also an Omega level mutant. He is the first mutant that we saw who had the ability to warp reality. That's an ability that gets tossed around a lot these days, ever since they kind of switched Scarlet Witch's power to become a reality warper.
Yeah.
And that's not really what... Bro, Scarlet Witch's power used to almost be closer to like Domino's power a little bit. Like she had like this probability thing where she could like make things happen her way just off like some random bullshit. Which is technically speaking the same as Domino's power. which was done super well. I thought. I know you didn't love Deadpool 2, but I thought the way they did her power was really
No,
good.
it was dope. Yeah. Deadpool 2 was. I liked it.
Slightly disappointing though. Maybe.
It was a little disappointing. Like I didn't love Josh Brolin as Cable, and then
he looked the part, but he didn't really like.
He did, but I don't know. And then I thought that they just went overboard with the
body
dog.
horror.
They're just body horror.
That's kind of what it was. Didn't it just get ripped in half by the Juggernaut?
Yes, flat out.
Just
flat out torn in half. Yeah, I thought they kind of overdid some of that stuff, so I didn't love it. But that dog, the extended version, I've talked about it before. That Yakuza bathhouse fight scene, the extended one,
it's crazy.
It's one of the greatest comic book movie fight scenes of all time. Yeah. The extended one, strictly that one, but it is amazing. I can't believe they cut that from the movie.
Yeah. So so the Proteus power is to warp reality on the scale of his power is not like planetary. I think it's like in his immediate vicinity. But he's still technically speaking an Omega level mutant. So maybe his power scale is beyond that now. But anyways, whatever the case, the reason why I like this episode so much is because this was like the first encounter that they had with like an Omega level mutant, because believe it or not, Apocalypse is not an Omega level mutant.
Right.
Who are the other super powerful? I don't think Omega Red is a mutant at all. He's like a Weapon X type deal. Magneto, well, he is now. He wasn't originally an Omega level. Not even Xavier is an Omega level mutant. They all are like super powerful, but like have limits to their power.
Right.
Omega level means you don't have a upper limit. So the way that he was just like literally just walking through the X-Men was crazy. So much so it culminated in a scene where when I first saw it, I couldn't believe what the fuck I was looking at. You know what I'm about to say, dog. He fucked Wolverine over so bad that it brought him to tears. He was sobbing, bro. What, big bad Wolverine, dog? What do you mean? He warped that nigga Wolverine into like ribbons. He like melted him. He like pulled him apart like fucking Play-Doh. He turned his claws into snakes.
Oh my God,
he
bro.
fried Wolverine, bro. And by the time Wolverine came to, he was in tears.
Slapped the Genjutsu on that man.
Bruh, he was he literally broke down sobbing, dog. And then I didn't peep this the first time. They call back to it. Xavier calls back to it. And because Xavier was mad at that nigga one time. It was like, I think this is different. But he called back to like, what I think he said something like, what was it that made you lose your nerve like that? Was it Proteus? and then Pete, Wolverine was like, nah, I had therapy and I worked through that. He literally had PTSD, dog.
He had PTSD from getting
turned inside out by a child.
From getting destroyed. Goodness.
He had PTSD, and Xavier was like, damn, nigga, you were fucking, you were shook, bro. You were shook. He was like, yeah, nigga. You remember you and me, we had therapy. We worked it out, bro. Like, I got over it.
Gosh.
It's like, that nigga was damaged by that shit.
Why am I so damaged? Dog, Jigaboo Cell. That was one of the funniest SwordCast jokes of all time.
That's a good one.
Gosh, that was so funny.
All right, number 3, One Man's Worth. This is the episode where,
oh man, so good.
Where Xavier is killed.
Dog, Age of Apocalypse, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, this cartoon did time travel and like alternate realities like
excellently,
flawlessly. So good, like easy to follow. They mastered it, man.
Yeah,
so good.
One Man's Worth. I think the actual comic book version of this story, I think it's actually Legion that kills him. Xavier's son is who kills him.
Yeah.
And in the show, it's Fabian Cortez, I think, is the one who does it. But yeah, so it's an episode where Bishop are always cleaning up somebody's time mess.
Dog.
And
or kind of creating a mess for someone else.
Right, exactly. And Cable always being tired of Bishop.
Just getting tired
like,
of it.
Damn, nigga, you always in my way again, bro. Like Cable come to Cable, no nonsense. I'm here to handle business, and then here come Bishop. So you don't fuck some shit up again.
Bishop used to have the Western guitar riff every time he shot.
There's some fucking newspaper will fly by with the date on it. Bro, they said that nigga. There's a meme going around that said Bishop was a coon because he went back in time and he thought that he ended up in the hood, and the hood, it was so ghetto that he thought the time machine didn't work. And he was still in the post-apocalyptic future. That nigga woke up and said, "Surprise, surprise! The time machine didn't even work." That nigga was in the cut.
Dog, that's terrible. Horrible, man.
Yeah, so shout out to that. It was a great episode. That episode also had a future version of Wolverine and Storm who were married, which was really cool.
That's fire.
Okay, so number 2. Outside looking in, the Dark Phoenix saga was good, but it doesn't make my top 5.
It was good. It was just long as crap.
It was long, but it also wasn't as good as number 2, which is the original Phoenix saga. It's fantastic. The Lilandra arc with Charles Xavier,
the Shi'ar Empire. That's the original Phoenix, right? Yeah,
that's the first Phoenix saga.
That was great.
The M'Kraan crystal, which is also, I think that's the same crystal that. No, it's not. Never mind. I thought it was the same crystal that gave Juggernaut his powers, but it's not. It's the Sidorak crystal or whatever. That was a good episode too, where that random nerd gets the Juggernaut's powers. The original Phoenix saga, 5 episodes. They break it down super, super well. This show never really gave Jean Grey her due. I think Jean Grey gets misunderstood because of this show. They think that like it was the Phoenix Force that gave her strength. Yeah. It's not, bro. Jean Grey was already an Omega level mutant. I forgot. How come I didn't mention her when I was talking about Omega levels? Of course, Jean Grey. She's the first Omega level mutant in the X-Men, not Iceman. My bad. Put some respect on the White Queen's name. Or not that White Queen, the White Phoenix's name, yes. But yeah, it was because of her latent Omega level capability that the Phoenix Force felt that she was the proper vessel. It was not the opposite way around. And it was because of her Omega level strength that the Phoenix was able to merge with her to become White Phoenix, which is like an unfuckwithable power. So yeah, she doesn't really get her just due because we were still in the 90s and we had to do the damsel in distress thing still. Jean deserves more respect than that, and hopefully she gets it in this new in X-Men 97. And my number one favorite episode here, and I've talked about this one before, is Come the Apocalypse. That's the first appearance of Apocalypse.
Dog, horrifying. There is no way they're gonna beat this guy.
And let me just say this, dog. They don't do voice acting like they did in the 90s, bro.
Nah,
dog.
Everything dramatic.
Dog, the voice actor who was acting Apocalypse's line, that nigga was acting his ass off, bro. What did he say?
Bro, my man sounded like a poet.
Up every single thing he said, it was Shakespeare. Everything was Shakespeare. What did he said? He dropped a bar, man.
So funny, man.
When somebody asked him, I think a human. Oh, so here's what happened. He captured someone, the scientist, in that episode where they've got like the machine that's threatening to turn to remove the X gene. And the scientist that he captures asked, "Is Apocalypse a mutant?" And that nigga said, "I am as far beyond them as they are beyond you." What? That's crazy. I'm as far beyond mutants as they are beyond yo-ho ass, bro. Because if you think about it, one of the dopest parts of the House of X saga was Apocalypse peeping and was like, "Hey, I'm proud of y'all niggas." All I ever wanted was the strongest to survive. And you know what? Y'all niggas are the strongest.
Yep.
Y'all kept trying to do this peace and love bullshit, and me and Magneto, he almost had it right, but fuck it. Apocalypse said, all I ever wanted for y'all niggas was for y'all to understand the power that you wield and to be the strongest and survive, and y'all did. Respect.
Bro.
The Apocalypse face turn we did not see coming.
He
bro.
was so good in this cartoon, man.
Yeah. So that's my number one, man. The first
Jeez,
first like big Apocalypse saga.
Love it. Dog. So good. All right, man. This cartoon is just
It's good.
It's so good, man. Apocalypse he was in so many story arcs, man, and
He had 3 or 4 different arcs of just him as the main bad guy.
He was so good. This is also my favorite look for Apocalypse too.
Yeah. The big A.
Dog, so dope, man. But all right, man, let's go. My number 5 favorite episode is going to be One Man's Worth. It's kind of the Age of Apocalypse adaptation. Dog, Magneto with a beard, man. And I love the alternate versions of all the X-Men and just this different world. Like, again, they do alternate realities and time travel so good in this cartoon. So my number 5 is One Man's Worth. My number 4 favorite episode of the 90s X-Men cartoon, The Final Decision. Dog, Magneto joining the X-Men and the fight against 10,000 Sentinels, bro. That is all.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all we're here for this episode. When I was a kid, I loved Magneto, and I was just always itching for him to just do something good because I was still at that age where, like, I didn't feel comfortable rooting for him unless he, you know what I'm saying? Even though I liked him a lot, I was always kind of like, come on, just do.
Bro, that speech he gives
Do
at
something
the end,
good.
the speech he gives at the end of episode 2 of X-Men 97, that nigga was talking.
He was spitting. He was
bars.
talking
so much shit, bro.
He was spitting.
He said, I am trying to be better. Don't make me let you down, dog.
Dog, he was spitting.
Dog.
Oh my gosh.
So good,
I love Magneto. I might need to change my X-Men list, dog. I forgot how much I love Magneto, bro.
He's great.
Comic books too, man.
He's
always been fire. Oh, it's tough out here in these streets, man. It is tough. Man, Magneto's so good, dog. Really dope. All right. Number 4, man. Or no, that was number 4. My number 3 favorite episode, man. Weapon X Lies in Videotape, dog. That is one of my favorite episodes. This is the one. Story? This is the one where Wolverine starts tripping, and him and Beast go. He gets that postcard, and then him and Beast go to the Weapon X. They go to the Weapon X facility where he got made, and this is where he starts having all those nightmares and flashbacks, and then Beast ends up being there, and then this is, I think, my favorite Wolverine-centered episode. He has a couple. This was always my favorite. Again, just that iconic Weapon X look with the helmet and all the cords and everything all over him. Always been one of my favorite episodes. When I was a kid, I had it VHS. I had this on VHS too, so I used to watch this one all the time. Number 2, Days of Future Past, dog.
Yes.
This cartoon did this story so good. Again, we got the Bishop time travel stuff. And again, this is just one of the bigger storylines from the comics.
It's a top 3 or 4 definitive X-Men storyline.
It is.
It might be number 1.
It might be number 1 depending on who you ask. And
maybe it's not my favorite, but just in terms of like defining moments for the X-Men, it might be one of the most important.
I agree, and I also
but it is. I'm not. It's not my absolute favorite, but it is one of my favorites for sure.
It's so good, man. They did a great job with this in this show. It's literally perfect the way that they do it in the cartoon. And my number 1 favorite episode / episodes from the 90s X-Men, dog, Time Fugitives, bro.
Is that the first?
This is the first Cable and Bishop one. This is where Cable is. He's in the future and he's fighting Apocalypse with like his group that he's in, and
is this the beginning of the techno-organic virus?
Yes, and then there's the storm that kind of messes up the city, and then Cable learns from his little AI thing, about Bishop, and then he travels to the past.
Hold right quick. The fucking AI is so dope. This is such a nerdy little thing that I love. It's so specific and so nerdy. The way that he calls out his teleportation is fucking awesome.
Yeah, dog.
So he says body slide by 2 or body slide by 1, and depending on who he's transporting, the number changes. So if it was just me and you, body slide by 2, body slide by 3. That shit is so fucking
dope,
hard,
man.
dog. I don't know. It's something about the terminology.
I told you, bro. Like I love Cable in this cartoon, dude.
Bro,
he was awesome. And then he learns that Bishop had traveled to the past and stopped that disease from spreading, and it would all the mutants would die. You know what I'm saying?
They needed the antibodies.
Yep. So then he travels back to stop Bishop to save mutant from the Apocalypse plague. Fire, Cable, Bishop, Apocalypse in as well. Just always been my favorite 2 episodes as a 2-parter, and it's always been my favorite. You know what, dog? Oh man, so funny. I feel like I gotta make some amendments to this list here. I'm gonna do it.
What happened?
I'm doing it. I'm making some changes here.
Uh-oh.
I am making some changes. We're gonna keep Deadpool at 1. We're gonna keep Wolverine at 2. We're gonna keep Shatterstar at 3. But then at 4, we're gonna go Magneto.
Yeah, you gotta put him in there, bro.
We're gonna go Magneto at 4. And then at 5, I gotta get Cable in there, man. I'm going Cable at 5. So I'm going Cable 5, Magneto 4, Shatterstar 3, Wolverine 2, Deadpool 1. I made some changes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I made some changes. I had to.
Cable is just, he's like maybe the most quintessential 90s character ever.
Dog,
bro.
he
was so edgy, dog.
He's so edgy, and he's like 10 foot tall, and he doesn't take crap from anybody.
And his name is Cable.
And his name's Cable. It's just it's a cool one-word
He got
name.
that whole ass gun on Marvel vs. Capcom.
Dog, cheating.
Button smasher expert.
Button smasher. Oh, goodness, man. Oh, man. Just, it's so hard to do 5. I don't know. Do I keep the changes? Do I not keep the changes?
I keep them.
I love Psylocke and Storm. I don't know, man. It's tough. But, hey, let's go, man. X-Men. I can't wait for the next episode to come out. When does the next episode drop?
Wednesday.
All right, let's go. We're in there Wednesday. We're going to talk about every episode, man. Well, this is a show worth reviewing every episode when they drop. Do me a favor, get caught up on Ninja Kamui.
Yes.
I'm going to check out 3 Body Problem.
Yes.
Thank you all for listening. Go watch that X-Men. Boom. Nice!